Hey guys, I want to talk about time management today. You've got an hour. Sometimes it's easy to fit the WOD into it, sometimes it's not. So I want to look at it so that you know kind of where you need to be at any given time during the class hour. What I've done is I've drawn a clock up here. Our warm-ups start at 5 after, so I'm just going to use an example that class starts at the top of the hour. You can inverse this down to the bottom as well. So the first 5 minutes are taken up with them just getting in. Some of them are actually working, others are jawing, all that kind of good stuff. The last 5 minutes of every hour, I'm always looking to have some kind of mobility that they can do. So with that said, we really only have 50 minutes to get some stuff in. So let me give you some examples of what we would do. WOD number 1 here is 3 rounds, not for time, of a warm-up. It is then 15 minutes of strength and then 20 minutes for an AMRAP. Now, so that's why we start always at 12:05. 3 rounds not for time usually take somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. So that would put us kind of here with our not for time. This is your 15 minutes of strength. Yeah, there we go. Right, 15 minutes of strength there. And that leaves us effectively 25 minutes to get a 20-minute AMRAP in. So if it's a deadlift or something like that, maybe I'm incorporating it in, but if not, you may have to hustle. By 35 after the hour, you need to have started that 20-minute AMRAP so it gets done, so we've got some time for mobility, and they can get out of there if they need to. Okay, so that's the first one. Let's see, there we go. So that's the first example of how you need to think. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll look at the AMRAP and then count back from 55th minute to figure out when's the latest that I can actually start this bad boy. Take into consideration it's cold, take into consideration the type of strength we did, how much weight may need to be moved around or put out, bars in, bars out, bars needed, all that kind of stuff. A lot of times on the bigger stuff, I'm going to tell people to be prepping bars because we're going to have a tight day. Next example, Hollyman, 45-minute cap. That's 30 rounds of 5 wall balls, 3 handstand push-ups, and 1 heavy clean. You've got to get all the scales in, all that kind of stuff. We know it's 45 minutes usually, and a lot of times with this, I will say we're going to start at 15 after, but truly we probably need to start a 45-minute cap at 10 after the hour. Okay, so that's when I'd like it. Sometimes with a power clean and some other stuff, it'd be dangerous to do so. They're going to tap out a lot of the time before then anyway, so you can start it here. At latest, you can start at 15 past the hour, and a lot of times in the WOD, I'll warn them ahead of time so they're not late. WOD number 3 example, 2 rounds not for time, some kipping technique, and then to 10-to-1 inverse ladder. So in your head, you should be thinking, okay, 2 rounds not for time, we start at 5 after, still going to be done probably no later than here for our not for time. Kipping technique, depending on who's in the room, can take anywhere from 5 minutes, 0 minutes really, if you've got a veteran crew that all kips and has their bar muscle ups or whatever, or it can take as long as 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes I think worst case. So again, half of the hour's done. I've got 25 minutes. A 10-to-1 inverse ladder, you're going to learn to know, is 55 reps of both. Okay, they normally take somewhere between 7 and 14 minutes. So you're going to have some wiggle room in here depending on what needs to be set up. Sometimes it's toes to bar overhead squat, so you need to get that done, or there's going to be some extra mobility that we have in. You got to think about all that. But even then, you at least want 15 minutes in here. Probably in your head, I want you thinking, I got to start by 40 past the hour. Okay, last example. And this is tougher, and again, this is one of those things where I kind of count backwards. 3 rounds for not for time or for time warm-up, an 8-minute AMRAP, and then a Tabata cash-out. If it so the Tabata cash-out is at least 4 minutes once you get it going. Okay, so now we're really, the Tabata's got to start here, no later than the 51st minute, but hopefully the 50th minute because there's stuff to put up. The 8-minute AMRAP then therefore has to start probably at the 42nd minute or probably the 40th minute somewhere, so you can give them a little chance to calm down before that's all going on. The 3 rounds not for time probably is putting you in here, and then you got a whole bunch of space in here to either warm up the AMRAP, educate them, teach them, do something like that. I don't like these back to back, so if you're thinking, well, I need 5 minutes of free time here, you know, to get them ready for the next thing, that means I probably need to put the WOD in here, and you're gonna have some free time, okay? So we can either use that, you can use that, or you can just backload it, give them more time during, to get ready for the Tabata or what have you. Sometimes though, that 8-minute AMRAP is really still gonna be 15 minutes, so this starts shrinking the longer my AMRAP goes, okay? But that's how you should be conceptualizing every WOD that you see going forward on how you're gonna run it in your class. Hope this helps. Call me if you have any questions.